Okay, guys, this is the second part of this inspirational message that I hope will be received in the hearts of those that the Lord has opened up their hearts to receive. What I wanted to address is there's a lot of persecution right now in the church. And I want to encourage people around the world, with emphasis on the brothers and sisters in India as well. That is where the Lord's calling me to go. People, we all have to be willing to go. The Lord's calling some of you right now. In your hearts, you know that the Lord God is calling you to either go to North Korea, in China. Maybe the Lord's called you to go to Pakistan. Maybe Egypt. Maybe Syria, Iraq, Iran, Russia. But wherever it may be that He is trying to send you, He's knocking at your heart, at your heart, and He's hoping you answer the door. If it's been within your heart and you have thought you've been called to be a missionary or an evangelist, my friends, you really need to talk to the Lord and prepare yourself. For these are the days of Joel. My friends, I'm not just speaking this. These are the days of Joel. And the Lord is right now pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh. Some of you, the daughters, are being called to be prophetesses in other lands. Some of you men are being called to be evangelists, missionaries, healers. Some of you are being called to go to India, or you're being called to go to Pakistan. And in your heart, you know you're being called. Do not let fear grip your heart. Ask the Lord to fill it with His love, and He will direct your path. Do not let the enemy tell you if you go into these lands you're going to be killed. My friend, if you don't go, how many is going to be killed in those lands, having never heard the gospel? Every Christian in their heart should want the Lord to come back as soon as possible. But He says until this message is preached throughout the whole world, it will keep spinning. We are in the end days, and they are getting severely worse. There are FEMA camps all over the world, guys. They're ordering ammunition. They've got prisons with guillotines that have been purchased by the United States and the UN. The mark of the beast is already a valid thing that's in technology that is being tried. And if any of these things were to have ever been signs to you, like I told my own children, if the mark of the beast is out there, you can be sure that you're in the very last days of this that we call earth. It's not pretty anymore. There's nothing good about it. You know, my friends, you can't turn the TV on without hearing something of violence. Your children are being accustomed to watching violence in the hopes that the enemy wants that they should be so tuned into it that it wouldn't faze them at all when it starts happening. Your children are being brainwashed with iPads and game systems, violent movies, new gadgets, and the adults are being swayed by the free loans for cars and houses. Now let's not forget the food stamps and the programs that they're on. My friend, I'm not throwing stones here. I receive food stamps, but I won't be once that happens. I can only encourage you to build a small pantry. But there are days coming, and they're now upon us, where the very things you've heard done in other countries to Christians who have boldly taken a stand for the name of Christ and for the faith of the gospel that He shared with everyone, and then signifying it by the death on the cross. That bread He gave those apostles, my friend, the apostles gave to the multitudes. And now here you are. That same bread. The same bread, remember. Look, the Lord blessed the bread. The bread was multiplied. Thousands and thousands ate of that bread that the Lord blessed, gave to his apostles, and the apostles gave it to the masses. The very gospel you read is that bread. No other. Not from the Catholic sect, not from any other sect, but the very bread that Jesus himself gave. No other. Jesus says, if you do this for me, and you share this word, and you pass out this bread, and you drink this cup, which is the New Testament in my blood, then you are my friends. You are my brothers. And you are my sisters. Persecution in Pakistan. The country's blasphemy laws are some of the strictest in the world, and the World Council of Churches has called them a major source of victimization and persecution of religious minorities. Christians comprise just 1.6% of the population. The mere accusation of blasphemy is enough to spur angry mobs to violence, and in March 2013, some 3,000 Muslims stormed Christian churches, torched hundreds of homes, and burned hundreds of Bibles in a Christian neighborhood of Lahore. Quite reasonably, the Pakistan Telecommunications Authority, or PTA, prohibits people from sending messages that are false, fabricated, indecent, or obscene. But texting Jesus Christ on mobile phones is also banned. Why is Jesus Christ offensive to Muslims? Are they afraid of the source of truth? We cannot be afraid to preach the gospel. We cannot be afraid of the darts of the enemy or the terrors that come by night. Do not believe the lies, my friend. If you have a call on your life, then answer the phone. It's dangerous all over the world. But the Lord's calling you. And if the Lord's calling you, you need to listen. In Egypt, the Sharia-biased Muslim Brotherhood government of Egypt, headed by Islamist President Mohammed Morsi, or Morsi I think it's pronounced, has taken over the country from the Mubarak regime. Today, Coptic Christians are paying the increased price for the regime change with their lives and property. The reality is the persecution of Christians and other minorities inside Egypt has increased dramatically since the Morsi election. Jerry Dykstra, Director of Communications at Open Doors USA. Muslim attacks on Christians throughout Egypt follow a sequence of events. Threatening leaflets, followed by attacks on Christian property, followed by the displacement of Christians. Some leaflets after monetary rewards to Muslims who kill or physically attack the enemies of Allah. When asked for help, the police, the army, and the Muslim Brotherhood-led government tend to look the other way, and little is reported on Western media. And that source came from Unity Coalition for Israel 2012. In Germany, in August 2013, a task force of 20 police, social workers, and special agents raided the home of a Christian family in Darmstadt. The 4 children, 7 through 14 years, were forcibly removed from the devastated parents after a court claimed that the children had adopted the parents' opinions. The Homeschool Legal Defense Association said the sole grounds for removal were that the parents, Dirk and Petra Wunderlich, a Christian couple, continued to homeschool their children in defiance of a German ban on home education. The father, Dirk Wunderlich, said the government is trying to influence the children. It is claimed that the government is trying to motivate and implement a pluralistic ideology. The German government motive is to implement a pluralistic ideology. The children were later returned on condition they were sent to a state school. Persecution in the UK. Persecution in the UK is happening by stealth via EU equality law. It is also happening from political Islam in the UK. Consider just a few of many cases. At least 1,100 UK Christians, possibly nearer to 3,000, who have converted from Islam can be protected from persecution via a secret network of safe houses being set up across Britain. A Christian counselor has been dismissed from Relate because he felt his obligation to give sex therapy to homosexual couples contradicted his Christian ethics. I would say that was big yay. A Christian minister has been removed from a community radio talk show because his statement that Jesus is the only way offended some Muslim listeners. Well, Jesus is the only way. A Christian policeman provoked unjustified anger in his local police force when he had made a stand on Christian beliefs regarding homosexuality. He was threatened with dismissal. I could go on and on with these, but there is one thing that I would like to say before this had ended, this particular segment. There is coming a time, my friend, and it's upon this nation and the globe at large, that when you practice the morality and the biblical truths of the gospel of Christ, you are going to be targeted. You are going to be harassed, prodded, and poked. Stand up for the faith. Do the right thing. Because many will fall away. And because of the sins of the world and the deceitfulness of lusts and riches, and because of fear, many will fall away. So you stand firm. You continue to homeschool your children, Christian brothers and sisters. You continue to fight for what is right. Continue to teach your children moral, ethical, and blessed gospel values. Because Jesus is watching not just those that persecute you, but you and what you're doing. Let the Lord worry about the ones persecuting you. We do not use violence, but by prayer and fasting, let your requests be made known unto God, and God will give you peace. I ask that you be blessed today and have a real good day and try your best.